The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, everyone. It's Andy Brownell along with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results on News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great.
Me too. My tulips are all open. They look so pretty.
Oh, really?
They look so pretty. It's springtime.
Yeah, it's funny that, it's a little cooler this weekend, but, we're looking to next week.
I have buds on my
again.
Trees and tulips, so forget about the temperature. It is springtime. And the market is showing me because I'm working like a dog.
But our idea of what's cool weather is also being modified as well. Because now when we have highs around 50, it's cool.
When I'm inside the office looking out the window, I just pretend it's 80. If there's some sunshine out there, it's like, it's much warmer than it really is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's a vast improvement from a month ago.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
I'm just going to say this. Anybody who's telling you that this real estate market is slow, they are living under a rock, okay? And if anybody out there is worried about now not being a good time to buy a house, please call me and let me enlighten you. Because honestly, the market is hot. I have been writing offers like crazy. Literally on Friday, I wrote 3 different offers for 3 different buyers, every single one in multiple offers. So it is definitely a healthy spring market. And I mean, it's different. It's definitely different than 2021 because everybody and their mother was selling and moving because they could move up to their dream house and lock it in at 2.5% interest. So let's put the one that we have now that was our dream house last year on the market or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now it's just tougher because we don't have much for inventory. I mean, we have a pretty big shortage of inventory. So the people who say, I would sell my house. I'm not as nervous about the interest rates as I was a year ago or 8 months ago when everybody told me they were going to make it to 9 or 10 or whatever nonsense they said. And so I would, but if I put mine on the market, where do I go? Because there's just nothing to buy. So sellers, if you're listening and you're thinking about selling your house, please, please, please do, because we need inventory.
So as far as inventory, when you started doing this radio program with me, we talked about inventory then. And it's gotten, over this time period, even worse, right? The number of homes available.
Well, like I said, when in 2021, people who weren't even going to sell their house sold their house.
Yes.
Just because they could move into their dream house at such low rates. So we got this plethora of short-term inventory because as fast as it was listed, it was sold. But the reason our number of sales was up is because we had something to sell. So people are saying, sales are down 5% over this time last year. Because we have 5% fewer homes to sell. If we had them, they would be sold. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's still a seller's market.
So it's nothing negative. Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. In my mind, I'm already in the process of forgetting about the pandemic years because when you're looking at statistics like housing statistics, they shouldn't count.
Right. Yeah. It was definitely an anomaly. It was something that we're never going to see again. Well, let's pray we don't ever see a pandemic again. That was just not fun. But just so much, it was just nuts. There were no markers to predict anything. It was just chaos. I look back and I'm thinking, how did we even survive it? Oh my gosh, it got busy.
And I'm hoping that if it stabilizes and things get back to normalcy, that maybe this inventory will start to bump up.
Yeah, and I think we're already seeing it. I mean, today at the end of the show, I'll talk about listings that just our team has new this week, and I think it's 5 or 6, and all in really nice, affordable price ranges.
Oh, really? Nice.
I mean, we're definitely seeing it, and people are starting to realize, predictions now are before the end of the year, the rates will be back toward, under 6 for sure, and maybe in the high fives, and by the end of next year, the low fives, and who knows, I've even seen people say back in the fours by the end of 24. So we're not hearing all the negative about, oh, we don't know how high these rates are going to go and when it's going to stop. And I do laugh because I was at a listing appointment this week, and the guy, nicest fella, and he's a retired appraiser. And so he was asking me things about the market. And he's like, so what is going on in the market, Robin? And I said, oh gosh, how much time do you have? Because this is something I love to talk about. And so he said, why do you think we saw kind of a slowdown for a while and people's houses were actually sitting on the market? We had a neighbor whose house sat on the market for 5 months. I said, well, yeah, because you live in a higher end neighborhood. These homes are more expensive. And that was a time where people were like, I don't know if I can justify spending over 6.5% in interest to buy a bigger new house, not even new, but a bigger house, because I refinanced at 2.65
right.
Or I refinanced. So now I'm kind of comfortable with this nice low interest rate, and we'll just stay a little bit cramped in our house. And when I say cramped, cramped is quite relative, because when I grew up, we had 3 houses in our bedroom, we had 6 kids, and we had 1 bathroom. Now I can talk to you about cramped, but I never felt cramped.
No.
So it's like I always thought we had plenty of space and never felt cramped. The fact that I shared my bedroom at times with 3 of my sisters, my sister Renee and I each had our own bed, and the twins had a bunk bed. So it was a big room. Clearly, it was one of those story and a half, so it was most of the upstairs. And we just we never felt like we were cramped together. But now people will say, oh, all 3 kids have to share 1 bathroom? I'm like,
it's a classic first world problem.
It's a classic first world problem.
And it is funny, because I grew up in a big family as well, and I would never consider that we were cramped.
Right. Isn't that funny?
But if I had grown up in a house that had multiple bathrooms, I might have a different opinion on that now.
Right. And the other thing is that, like you say, it's all relative. It's whatever you're used to, right? So now people are pretty accustomed. I went to the parade of homes, and a lot of the homes had 1 bathroom per bedroom. So every bedroom had their own bath. I'm like, wow, fancy.
Well, when you do the listings, a lot of the homes you've described are like that now. If they have 4 bedrooms, they'll have at least 3 baths, if not 4.
Right.
Yeah, wow. Living it up. No, but on the other hand, when you look at the people who were locked in at 3% during the pandemic, that advantage in interest rates will wear off over time, because as that amount of principal that they have paid off grows, that interest rate matters less. And they might get the itch to move up after all.
Right.
Because they'll have that equity to put down on the next one, and all of a sudden 5.5%, 6% won't seem as high as what they thought it was back when they were thinking about it earlier.
Well, yeah, so that's when I got to him, when I was telling this fella about how the interest rates are what kind of held people where they were, he said, what? He goes, oh my gosh, when I bought this house, if I would have gotten a 6.5% interest rate, I would have been dancing in the streets. I'm like, yeah, it's exactly. So again, it's just whatever you're accustomed to.
And people better get it out of their heads that someday this 3% interest rate will return.
That's probably not happening. Yeah.
Well, if it does happen, it'd be terrible, because that means something catastrophic has happened.
Right.
So don't wish it.
Yep, exactly. That we don't want that back. No.
Okay, well, let's take a quick break. Robin, it's Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group-RE Results, and we'll be back in just a few seconds on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We are back. Good morning. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Results. I'm Andy Brownell, and everything we've talked about, I know we've talked about this, what's the term, ad nauseum, that this is not the 2008 housing crisis.
Right.
Every last piece of evidence should make that very, very clear that the negatives in the housing market right now are the result of a lack of homes being put up for sale.
Exactly. We just don't. And so what are we seeing? When we were just off air, I was telling Andy about one particular listing that somebody here at RE/MAX had this week. And in a 12-hour period, they had 42 showings and 18 offers.
Wow.
That means there's just a whole lot more buyers for that house than there are houses, right?
Yeah.
So everybody has to fight over the ones that are there. So that it does make, that's a struggle. But
so if you're listening right now and you're thinking, boy, we really do want to sell our house, but we're not sure about the economic conditions because you're reading the headlines.
Yeah, call me.
Take the message to heart.
Yeah, call me. I really can enlighten you for real. It's like it is a great time to sell. And luckily for us, living here in Rochester, and I know I've talked about this before, but we can't ignore it because it's true. When we talk about the real estate market, we can't talk about one real estate market as if everywhere in the country has the same situation, because that would be ridiculous. So, I like to talk about our local real estate market because that is what concerns most of our listeners. I mean, sure, I like to tell things about the overall picture, but with Rochester being the way Rochester is, we all know that our biggest employer is Mayo Clinic. And what happens is people come here for short periods of time intentionally. Like sometimes they're coming to attend medical school or to do a 4-year residency or to do a 2-year fellowship. I mean, they know when they come that when we're done here, we're going on to our next assignment. So it's not like, oh, we don't like it here, we want to get out of here. I mean, it's just a planned thing. So those people will come here and would prefer to buy a house because whether the interest rate is 3% or 6%, we all know what the interest rate is when you're paying rent. Right? What is it, Andy?
100%.
100%. No equity being built there whatsoever. So, saying that, they are smart people. They come in, they want to buy a house, and then 4 years later, they're going to call us back and sell the house. And that's what I've been banking my business on for the last 23 years, and so many other realtors as well, because we build relationships with this revolving door, right? Yeah. So we have that where some people say, well, no one's going to move because of the rates. Well, in Rochester, people are still going to move. So when the residency is done and they've accepted a position on staff somewhere, they're going, and the house is going up for sale. So our inventory is not quite as tight as even the Twin Cities, which isn't that far away, or some of the rural towns, because those people have been there a long time and they're staying there, and so they'll just stay put in the house they're in. So that has been favorable for us. Now, it doesn't mean we still don't have a shortage, but I think that's why, I'll speak to our company, RE/MAX Results. RE/MAX Results is a huge brokerage, the biggest RE/MAX in the United States of America, biggest franchisee, okay? John Colopy, our owner. So he has, I think it's 42 offices, 42 locations with 1,800 agents. So a pretty big showing. So even within those 42 offices, everybody's market's a little bit different, because whether you are up in Duluth or over in Superior or out in Austin or here in Rochester or the Twin Cities, we're all relatively, Minnesota, right? I mean, so we're pretty close, but the markets are all still different. So I feel really fortunate to live and sell real estate in the Rochester market because we do have a lot of transition, a lot of coming and going.
And even take away the transition, you have people who have a level of expertise or education that they're highly upwardly mobile as far as their economic situation is concerned.
Exactly.
So they are natural candidates to, despite the interest rates, move up to a larger home.
Exactly. So it's that affordability piece.
Yeah.
You know, the people who aren't struggling with affordability are still moving. So that's exactly right. And then, of course, it's just that time of the year. You know, how many weddings have you been invited to so far this year?
It's going to be a busy year.
Weddings and college graduations and new jobs. So it's just the time of the year that people are moving. And that's why typically spring is the busiest. And people say, oh, but the spring market's not as busy. The spring market is very busy. The spring market isn't as busy because we don't have as many houses to sell. But we're busy selling the ones we have to sell. And it proves it when you have a house listed, you know, I think it was just below 200 or just over 200 or whatever it was. And they had 42 showings in 12 hours and 18 offers. I mean, the spring market it's busy.
That's a lot of demand in that particular price range.
Yeah. And so I'm still waiting to hear on one of the offers that I wrote yesterday in multiples for a house in the mid-twos. And I don't even want to know how many offers we're up against, but I think it's plenty. But they've called for best and final, so now we're just waiting. This afternoon I'll know.
Oh, okay. That's kind of like waiting for the jury, right?
Kind of, but maybe not as nerve-wracking. I mean, if we don't get the house, there will be another. We're not going to jail either way. But I see what you're saying. Similar.
Well, if I'm the buyer, I'm on pins and needles. I know that.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I always tell people, honestly, we can't let ourselves get defeated if we don't get this one. If we don't get this one, we weren't supposed to have this one. It wasn't meant to be. And you'll land in the place that you were supposed to land. I've seen it over and over and over for the last 23 years. So when I say that, I say it with great confidence. So I try not to let buyers be emotional buyers. I really try to educate them and guide them so that we're making a good financial decision. Sure, I want them to end in a house that they like, but I want them to end in it at a price that they feel really good about. And more importantly, so when it comes time to sell it, in a price that they're going to sell it and will have made money.
Yeah. I love that philosophy. I love that you have that because I'm in agreement with you. If it didn't work out this time, it was meant to be.
Yeah, we'll find one. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and it will actually end up being far more to your liking than the one you thought it was such a great tragedy because you didn't get it.
If you knew how many times people said, but I'm never going to find one I like this much. And then when we're at the closing table with the one that they eventually find, I say, do you remember when? They're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I love this house twice as much. You know, so it always works out. It really does.
That's got to be fun for you when that happens.
That's the best.
Well,
so it's like we make it through the lows, but then we get to end on the high.
Yeah. Well, we have to take a break, so we'll be back in a moment. Robin Gwaltney Group-RE results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Robin Gwaltney Group-RE results. It's Saturday morning, my favorite part of the program where I get to hear about the houses that are available in our market. New listings.
Especially when we have new ones. That's really awesome. So good news is some of the inventory that did take a few months to sell has mostly all sold now. So
nice.
We have a couple of the one over $1 million and one in the high nines that will probably drop soon. But other than that, we have a lot of new stuff in the price point that really excites people. So to have I think I have 5 or 6 this week. So yeah, I'm excited to share those. All right, so let's talk about those. 3096 River Falls Court Northwest. That one is one of those townhomes just right off of West Circle Drive by Valley High Road, kind of behind that Mayo Lab.
Okay, yep.
That Mayo Lab building in there. They're really nice. They have a really great floor plan. and they're just over 1,000 square feet. They're about 20 years old now. Let me look here. Yeah, built in 2003. I remember selling those when they were brand new. My God. Anyway, they have 2 beds and 2 baths and a 1-car garage. And that little number is going for $219,900.
Oh, that's going to get grabbed up right away.
Oh, yeah. And it's a coming soon. So I think the first showings are next week, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe it's Saturday, Sunday. Maybe it's sooner. I don't know.
Pay attention
Anyway,
to Robin's website.
Pay attention. 3096 River Falls Court, Northwest. And then we've got one at 1806 16.5 Street, Northwest. This one is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1-car garage, ranch-style house, built in 1958. Got about the same amount of square footage, a little less, 1,014 instead of 1,080. It has an unfinished lower level. And this one is $239,900.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
So there are affordable homes in the city.
Yes. And here we have one of those Sand Cherry Place. They've been just famous for housing residents. They come and go and come and go and come and go. They're up behind that, what is the name of that, like, retirement center right on 55th Street? Kind of kitty corner from the big funeral home. Is that Rand-Franz?
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, so then right up behind there is, it's 5996, so I guess it's closer to 60th, Sand Cherry Place. And those were built about the same time as those other ones. These were actually 2004, and they are a 2-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, and it's $239,900.
Really?
Yes.
So if I keep going on 18th Avenue, it's when I'm starting to go up the hill.
Yes, you got it. And then you take a left into the little subdivision. They do sit kind of up on a hill. And those are nice, really nice.
Wow, the price is good too.
Right? I'm excited.
I noticed that for each of these, it's 2 bedrooms, 2 baths as well.
Yeah. Yes. And here I have one if you want to go out of town. This one is 314 Center Street, Northeast in Preston. And this thing is really nice. It's one of those twin homes where they connect at the garages.
Okay.
So their common wall is between the 2 garages, and so then there's on each end there's a house. So it's pretty long, right? And it is 3 beds, 2 baths, 2-car garage. It was built in 2002. Lots of 2s going on. I want you to brace yourself because it doesn't start with a 2. 189,900.
Really?
189,900. So there you go. You want some affordable living and you don't mind living out in Preston?
Well, there's a lot of people commuting from Preston. My goodness.
Well, yeah, it's a gorgeous place to live. So there you go. And then we have a beautiful house in St. Charles. And this one was built in 2010. And it's got 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, a 3-car garage, and it's $419,900.
Nice. You know, my late uncle used to be the mayor of St. Charles.
Well, there you go.
For many, many, many years.
Cool. So I think I have a couple people on the team that actually live out there, and I think people really like that town.
Oh, it's a beautiful, quiet little town, yeah.
And not very far away.
No, and you're right by Whitewater State Park. If you
right.
like
so
the fly
look
fish.
At that. I gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options, with the highest one being $419,900, and the median sale price right now is $489,900. So here you go, 5 houses well below the median sale price.
And the one in St. Charles, that's a big house.
Oh, it's a big, beautiful house. It even has, I can't say it in the listing because we can't use brand names, but it has Cambria countertops in the kitchen, and they are gorgeous. And it's a beauty. So we've got some good options.
Why is it that you can't use brand names in the listings?
Isn't that weird? Because they consider it marketing or advertising for those companies. So we can't say Whirlpool tub. We have to say jetted tub. Or we can't say Sub-Zero refrigerator, we have to say high-end refrigerator.
That's silly. Sorry.
I don't make the rules.
It's all marketing. So okay.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it's because we probably don't have their permission to, I don't know. Why? We were doing a commercial on local television during Super Bowl that was going to be aired at the Super Bowl, but we couldn't, and the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl, and we're big Chiefs fans, but you couldn't wear Chiefs jerseys in the commercial because the TV station isn't allowed to use the NFL's I'm like, okay, this is
so
ridiculous.
That's why it's always blurred out.
Yeah, we couldn't say go Chiefs. We would have to say go Kansas City. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Just use our normal commercial because we're not going to make a silly commercial. So anyway, don't ask me. I don't make the rules. I just follow them most of the time.
If it was the world, according to Robin, you could tell us what brand it was. Okay.
Exactly. So I told you on the radio. I don't know if I'm going to get in any trouble for that, but it does have Cambria countertops there.
I won't tell anybody.
Oh yeah, right. No one's listening.
Well, Robin, so there's all these homes you have for sale listed with Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. How do they get a hold of you? I imagine there's people listening right now. If they're not interested, they're going to call their sons, their daughters, or their nephews and tell them to check it out. I hope so.
And honestly, I'm not even being sarcastic. If you are still hearing negative in the media about the market and why it's not a good time to enter the market, feel free to call me anytime. I'd love to have an offline conversation with you and really, truly try to enlighten you about why I think that's all BS. Okay?
All right.
So, that being said, call me on my cell phone anytime, 507-259-4926.
Great. And check out the website, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. Robin, thank you again, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
Sounds great. Have a great week.
Gwaltney Group, Robin, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM at 96.9 FM.